This man is either considered the man who modernized Chile or the man who terrorized Chile. So which is it, and who was Augusto Pinochet? So Pinochet famously came to power through a military coup which he led in 1973, which ousted President Salvador Allende. Allende was the world's first democratically elected socialist president, and in the process of the coup, he died. Before taking power, Pinochet served as the commander-in-chief of the Chilean army. So this coup that he led was not just because he was against Allende's socialist policies and reforms, but because he was also part of a wider global crackdown on any form of socialism and communism as part of the Cold War. Because of this, the US government not only supported the coup, but was actively promoting it, and it was this man, US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, who fervently argued and lobbied President Nixon for US intervention in Chile to stop what he viewed as a communist takeover in Latin America. So Pinochet then ruled for 17 years, from 1973 until 1990. During this time, over 3,000 people were disappeared or eliminated for political reasons, and thousands more were tortured. So political opposition didn't just mean journalists, activists, and politicians, but it also included academics, professors, students, so young teenagers as well. Political parties were banned, elections did not happen, and Congress was dissolved during this time as well. Now, despite this dark political reality, Chile was also experiencing unprecedented levels of economic growth, which economists labelled as the miracle of Chile. So Chile moved away from the failing policy of import substitution towards free market reforms, and this included the privatization of key industries, reduced tariffs, and reduced government spending. As a result of this, Chile saw a significant growth in GDP and a reduction in inflation, and this made Chile one of the leading economies in Latin America. However, this also resulted in high levels of unemployment and a significant increase in poverty as the gap between the richest and the poorest widened. In 1988, a referendum was held in Chile asking whether Pinochet should serve another term as president, and over 55% voted no. Now, he stepped down in 1990 as president, but he still remained commander-in-chief of the army until 1998, and he was made senator for life as well. Now, despite the return to democracy and civilian rule in 1990, the human rights abuses of the military junta was never really addressed, and there was never any national reconciliation program that took place to address these human rights abuses as there were in other neighbouring countries in Latin America. For this reason, national memory is mixed, and he's a controversial figure in Chile, with some people praising him for his economic reforms, other people condemning him as a dictator that was responsible for the disappearances of their loved ones and demanding justice, whilst others simply try to forget about what happened in Chile. Interestingly, however, he was arrested in London in 1998 on a warrant issued by Spain for his extradition for crimes against humanity, but in 2000 the British government ruled that he was not fit for trial and he was sent back to Chile on medical grounds, where he remained until 2006, where he died at the age of 91. So now, how should Pinochet be remembered? What is his legacy, and which matters more, his economic reforms or his political brutality?